What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to do my top 5 favorite statue lines. So I think in general, whenever you're collecting statues, you should have a line you collect where it's a series of characters that complement each other, from the same line, size, movies and so forth. So I wanted to make a video of my top 5 favorite lines of statues out there. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alrighty, so number 5 on my list is going to be the Dragon Ball Z 1/6 scale line. Now, there is some 1/4 obviously, and some amazing 1/4, although I feel like the 1/4 market for Dragon Ball Z still sucks horribly. We don't have enough good ones, we don't have enough variety in characters, and most of the 1/4 coming out are absolutely horrendous. Granted, Prime 1 has shown some amazing ones, but the line still is terrible. It's definitely not where it should be, where the 1/6 line is amazing. I'm just missing one statue in this line per se of mine, and this also includes right here the Sand Saga missing Tsume Krillin. But I absolutely love Dragon Ball Z, of course. This is what really got me into collecting, was Dragon Ball Z and Mortal Kombat. But this is where I definitely started, was Dragon Ball Z. And so the 1/6 line is definitely one of my favorites. There's tons of variety. You can get so many cool scenes, a lot of dioramas where in general you're not going to find this in a 1/4 scale. So I really love recreating epic scenes, like when Vegeta punched Cell in the stomach or Gohan uppercutted Cell. So cool. So definitely a huge fan of this, and I think in the detolfs like this, it just looks absolutely amazing. So definitely a big fan of this, and definitely one of the best lines out there to collect. Even though if 1/4 is larger and whatnot, there's just not enough variety and not enough good 1/4s out there. If I had to choose between 1/4 and 1/6, I think 1/6 is a better overall line. Even if you have, better statues like Tsume, Vegeta, and Broly and whatnot. So number 5 on my list is going to be the DBZ 1/6 scale line. This is incorporating VKH, MRC, KD Collectibles, Defunction. Number 4 of my favorite line is going to be the Mortal Kombat line by Pop Culture Shock Collectibles. Now this incorporates both 1/4 and 1/3 scale, and really a lot of Mortal Kombat games. You got Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat 10, as well as Mortal Kombat Classic. But obviously I absolutely love Mortal Kombat. The way PCS did it, they're sort of like scattered. They never truly did everything from one game, so it's not really possible to collect from one game. But in general, if you're collecting Mortal Kombat as a line, there is still a lot of good options, with the classics here, as well as, this, which is my favorite wall of Mortal Kombat right here. You got 4 of the best classic, with the bosses, and then the 5 1/3. Granted, Goro's the best, but, Mortal Kombat is definitely one of my absolute favorites. And I still love the line. There's still a lot of characters I wish was made, but for what it is, it's still one of my absolute favorite lines to collect. Just such cool looking characters and such amazing statues. So number 4, Mortal Kombat by Pop Culture Shock Collectibles. All right, now we're down to the top 3, and number 3 for me is going to be Prime 1 DC 1/3 line. So this basically is incorporating the Dark Knight trilogy, the Suicide Squad, and of course, the Justice League. I absolutely love Prime 1's 1/3 scale line. I think they have knocked these out of the park. Granted, some of the scaling is a little off. Some are too big, some are too small, or some are just right. But overall, I absolutely love the Prime 1 DC 1/3 line. And they've made so many DC 1/3 scale statues. There's tons from the Arkham games. There's comic book, and they're doing lots of movie. So I've been collecting pretty much all movie except for this Deathstroke, which is from the Arkham game. And I'm a huge Deathstroke fan, and I think he fits in really well, with like Suicide Squad. So that's why he's there. And he's sort of, on the side, a little bit higher up than the others. Sort of like he's almost on a rooftop and whatnot. But I'm a huge fan of these DC 1/3 scales. I think Prime 1's been killing it with these. The detail, the size is just so impressive. Especially, this Justice League line. I'm such a big fan of this. I recently just rearranged this a little bit, and I just absolutely love it. This is such an impressive line. And there's still an additional Batman tactical suit you could get to go with this. But I'm a huge fan of these DC 1/3s. I think there's some of the best lines to collect out there without a doubt. So number 3, Prime 1 DC 1/3. Number 2 on my list is going to be monster 1/3 scale statues. Now, when I say monster, I am including monster and horror per se. I'm including Marcus, Lycan, Reaper, Pennywise, and Alien and Predator 1/3s. You know, I consider them all just creatures, monsters, horror. There's, you know, ECC has more or less their line per se. You know, this is all ECC, these 1/3 maquettes. And they're all some of the best statues ever created without a doubt. And then you also have the XM, Prime 1, Sideshow, Predator and Aliens in 1/3 scale. I consider this all part of a line for me of, you know, monsters, creatures, horror, and it's definitely one of my absolute favorites in my collection. I think they're some of the coolest looking statues. You know, sometimes humans are kind of boring, you know. I mean, granted, I love the superheroes, but monsters just take it to another level. When you compare Marcus to Aquaman, there is zero comparison. Marcus looks so much cooler. So I just love monsters and horror creatures, Pennywise, so freaking epic. So, you know, and then Predator and Aliens are some of the coolest creatures ever created. So definitely one of my absolute favorites in my collection, monster and horror, 1/3, specifically 1/3 scale. Alrighty, now let's get to number 1. Alrighty, I'm wondering how many of you guessed this as my number 1 favorite line, Transformers. Now, I would love to have more Transformer statues if possible, but there's such a huge rabbit hole. You have so many characters, and these are so expensive. They generally average $1,200 to $3,000 each. But I think together they form the most impressive statues out there. The detail, the size, the paint jobs, they're so realistic and cool looking. So this is my favorite line, and that's why I dedicated this room to 2 of my favorite lines, Mortal Kombat and Transformers. You know, I'm such a huge Transformers fan, and I'm still very happy with what I got. You know, I wouldn't want to add any more Transformers in this room just because it would look cluttered and wouldn't look good. But I think I got the best of what was offered. You know, I got Optimus and Bumblebee. You know, I don't need the other lowly members. I got the 2 main ones. I got Grimlock, who I fell in love with in Transformers 4. Lockdown was one of my favorite villains. And of course, Shockwave, the coolest looking Transformer. Megatron, with his sidekick, Starscream. So I think I got the best of what I wanted. You know, so I'm definitely happy with how my Transformer collection turned out. And I do think they do form the coolest looking line out there. They're just so expensive. They're so delicate. They break so easy. But they do form the coolest looking statues out there. I think this is the best line to collect out there for me. I have no plans to buy any more Transformers. I think how I have it is perfect, especially, you know, Shockwave being my absolute favorite statue. But this is my favorite statue line. You know, some are probably wondering, what, you didn't include Marvel? You know, I have a lot of Marvel lines per se. I got the Spider-Man, X-Men, I got Iron Studios, Civil War, and Age of Ultron, but I don't think they're nearly as impressive as these lines. There's not enough statue offerings, and, you know, everything's a little cluttered when it comes to Marvel and whatnot. I think it's a lot better, you know, doing it the way I have it. So I'll say those are my 5 favorite statue lines in my collection. Although I will say this and the Monster and Horror 1/3 can switch depending on the day. You know, it really depends. If I didn't have Shockwave, I would say my 1/3 Monster and Horror would be number 1, but Shockwave is so impressive that he brings Transformers just to another level. So that's my top 5 favorite statue lines. Let me know some of your top favorite statue lines that you guys love to collect. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.